Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Lighting Your Sunshine, where we like to shine a light within and empower ourselves. So for today's reading, I've already got a download and I got it a few days ago. I've just been sitting on it, kind of seeing if there's any more information to kind of come in before I can share it. And I think after yesterday's reading, that was the little bit that was missing. And so it's finally safe to share. And so in this download, I was in this space with the guides, right? All the guides, we were just kind of conversing, talking about things. And then they brought me to this scene. And in this scene, the guides were talking to a feminine energy. And then they asked her, why do you fight so hard for others? And so that's the thing. A lot of the time, people will fight so hard for themselves, for others. When you see injustice done to others, you'll stand up for them. But when it's done to you, do you stand up for yourself? And so that was like the questioning. It was like, why are you fighting so hard for them? Like, why aren't you focusing on yourself? And then the answer was kind of sad, but thought-provoking. And I'm just gonna read it. It said, thought about it for a bit and then came up and said, I think I fight so hard for others because maybe I'm dark. Or I was very dark in the past. I didn't know how I got there, but somehow I found myself isolated and alone in the darkness. I think I was there for a really long time. And then in that moment, they showed me, it's a Korean drama. It's called Tomorrow. And in it, there's this one lady. She's she is from the underworld because in a past life she did do self-harm that sent her to the underworld. So she is a demon. She is of the darkness because in a moment of where she should have stood up for hope, she lost hope, and so in that it sent her into the underworld. So I saw this character come, and so in this TV show, this character, the Green Emperor, or the Jade Emperor, sorry, the Jade Emperor recruits her because the suicide rate was going way too high. And so she kind of comes in and helps, navigates people's life lessons and things and tries to bring them hope. Her way is a little bit different than her partner's way, which is how you get that fun dynamic duo. But really, the gist of it, wrap it all up, is she is from the underworld. She is from this dark place that all the others of the energy workers and light workers dub her as, you know, below, because she is from the underworld and they're above. But she's out there and she just wants to help the humans so much because she knows what it's like to be in that place and to lose that hope. And so she fights so hard for them to have hope, to continue on and live out the life lessons and plans that they have set up for themselves. And so, yeah. And then the soul came in and said, if I can be forgiven, then I know that all others who want to do the work can be free too. Ooh, yeah, so this soul had this recognition that they were in the dark. I think they always knew that they were in the dark. Just something always seemed heavier to them. And so they did so much soul work, so much shadow work, right? You have to go into the shadow to heal all that and find that loving forgiveness. And so this soul went in and they found that. But with that realization, I think they kind of knew it, and that's why they were always out there helping others. But they didn't quite put the puzzle pieces together that they had already been forgiven. And so with that statement out to the guides, the fact that I can be forgiven was like this moment. And on the back of your neck, right here, it's called the Zeal chakra. And it's like where the soul resides. It's like where the soul comes in. And so the door on the back of the Zeal chakra opened up and I seen this cord kind of coming out. And so, yeah. So then I saw this door open up, and then on the back of this girl's neck was a cord. And it was being siphoned out of her. It was being stolen and taken by this like warlock energy. Just someone who had seen her learn to trap and trick her energy, and they were siphoning it. They were taking it to their advantage. And so she was awake in the 3D, but in the soul level, it was like always kind of part of the underworld, never quite getting past that present moment here. And so, yeah, okay. So as the back of this opened up, there's this thing. I see this guy attached on the other end of it. There's this really strong masculine presence comes and just cuts the cord. And then the warlock guy got like so nervous. And so this present beside us, it just was this very strong masculine energy. It didn't really give off much fear. Damn, that's good tea. Woo! It's like caramel sugar cookie or something like that, and it lives up to the hype. Yeah. And then, okay, so then I look over and I realize that this strong masculine guide is like Hades or Satan himself, like the Lord of the Underworld. And he looks over at the warlock as he cut the cord. He said, nothing. He just cut it, and then the energy went back into the Zeal chakra and like slammed the door shut behind. And so with that, that's the like word of God. Like that's your intuition to spirit and soul and all this. So whatever this warlock did that like tapped into that, like this is a big ethical no. Like, and so the devil then looked at the warlock and said that it was time for him to pay up what was owed to him. And then the ground kind of split open, and then this soul fell into darkness. And so yesterday's reading, I think why this one kind of comes into it was there was a guy, a handler. It was a handler energy. And this handler energy had pretty much taken someone's soul or control of someone spiritually, and was like all levels, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. They were manipulating the energy and taking someone's free will. And so it's like it got to happen, like it was happening. But eventually, like really, it just was that feminine energy just needed to wake up and say like, enough is enough. But this was the part that I thought was interesting. As I said, it was just a strong masculine presence in this, where they cut the cord and was like, this guy's been taken from you. Justice must be served, right? He falls to the ground. Didn't even know that this was Hades at that moment. Then I look over and I was like, damn, like you are the Lord of the Underworld. And it just did not give me a scary presence at all. And let's see here. It said, it's like I had known him before. Then the story of Persephone came up. And so the story of Persephone is Hades' wife. She was a beautiful maiden up here, and you know, she was tricked by Hades and Zeus. It was just a very, very unfair trapping. So she did get swooped and stolen and sent into the underworld. She didn't deserve it, right? It's just so unfair. And so a part of her did turn cold. A part of her did die, essentially, because that's what we do when we go into the underworld. There is a death. And so Persephone, it struggled and she hated it. So there is this darkness within her. There is this hate. But over time, right, this feminine energy quality that she had never quite went away. And you know, it may have been an unconventional relationship. We're going to go to Greek mythology. Nothing in Greek mythology makes sense, especially if you're going to put it in relationship standards in today's terms. But let's take Zeus and Hera and then compare it to Hades and Persephone. Well, Zeus and Hera, they're of the light, right? They're of Olympus, the above. And then the others are of the underworld. Whereas Hera, she used to, anytime Zeus would go and cheat on her, and that's the thing, Zeus slept with everyone. He just didn't care. Zeus is a major D-boy. And Hades was so loyal to his wife. He just loved her, right? He had gotten struck by the arrow of Aphrodite. He just had eyes for Persephone. Switch over to Zeus and Hera. Anytime Zeus cheated, Hera would then go out and punish those. For half the time, having things done to them that they didn't even ask to have done, right? Greek mythology, it's questionable. And so how are the light ones punishing and killing and damning all these people? When we go over to Persephone, she still has that mothering, loving quality to her. And so as souls were sent to the underworld, she was that caring, loving one. She's the ones that like saw the hurt ones, the broken ones, the ones, and she loved them and she mended them and she brought them back to life. She let them know that it's okay if you mess up. Like you know, it's just that loving presence. Which is so funny to hear that the underworld is like that, whereas above is not like that. So this Persephone energy came. And then, yeah, I was shown how she was trapped in a place that she longed to get out of because she was tricked. She found a way to love and mother the demons and make the best of her circumstance. You could have just sat there and gotten bitter and angry, because I do feel like, especially we're in the underworld, the most unjust things have happened. A death of your innocence, like you have to transform. And so to stay in that place and to choose love at the end is so empowering. And then so then I looked over right here I have it written as the devil or something, but it's Hades. Then Hades said the warlock was siphoning the energy, which is why this loving soul was trapped down there. But now that she has all her energy back and does not need to worry about the repercussions, because everything is square to go forward. Enjoy your pleasure, or enjoy your blessings. It was a pleasure. And then they went back down to the underworld. So in that moment, when I saw that, what they meant by the squaring, when you cut that tie, whoever that kind of handler energy is, when you cut that, most of the time there's like things backing them up, and you're scared that they'll come for you in the 3D. What this one was saying is like, don't worry, because we're dealing with courts and soul contracts, and you were unjustly put in there. And so it's almost as if the devil himself is angry, because as you were there, you actually kind of brought beauty to a dark place. And there is this misconception about what the underworld is. We think it's very dark and all these like satanic things and stuff, but have you ever watched Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit? You could say that hobbits are demons, yet hobbits are the most peaceful animals of that realm. So how can you say that that is of something lesser quality than just this realm that you have conscious to perceive the energy at, is what they say. So then he came and he was like, everything's squared. Like, it was such a pleasure. Thank you for helping my realm. Just very loyal to you for not changing your heart, I hear. So then it went into it and started talking. Oh, he said, you are in fact back from the dead. You are a phoenix rising. And then he let me know, he was like, but nobody saw this coming. So they really thought that you were trapped for so long and that there was no way for your soul to escape this. But the thing with Persephone is the only reason why she got trapped there is because she was tricked to eat the pomegranate seeds, which is what kept her in the underworld. But eventually there was a deal made because her mother, Demeter, like Mother Gaia pretty much, got pissed off. Was like, you stole my child from me. How dare you? She went and like did a drought and like just wreaked havoc on the earth. And so in order for compromise, Zeus had to go and make a deal to get his daughter back. Like, he didn't even try. He's the one like, yep, brother, you can totally steal her. Like, I don't know. Greek mythology. The stories are so messy. So, in the end, Persephone would, the deal came that at the end of summer, no, she was allowed to leave the underworld in the spring. So that's what Persephone is. She's allowed to go and create spring and fertility and crops in abundance from spring to summer. But then at the end of summer, she must go back into the underworld. And so Persephone herself is this phoenix rising moment. And this soul, you were trapped down there, they say, only because you had not verbally expressed out loud and had that aha moment that you had already freed yourself. It's like you were a trapped bird and the cage doors opened and you were allowed to leave. It's almost like my charms, they're saying. It's open. All you had to do was just exit out. And in that moment, that's where that clarity came from. Because there wasn't a veil of illusion that you have no time, resources, anything. Like, everything is stacked against you. But I don't know. All underground, you've showed so much love and compassion to those who were so lost and hurting that you're just a breath of fresh air, that you are in fact adored on both sides. The only reason why you were kind of trapped under this is they really wanted you to know what your power was. Because now that you've especially the Zeal chakra, the light is now back in you. It's this even balanced part. It's that re-emerging, that phoenix rising moment, they say. And so nobody can trap and kidnap you away from your life purpose. What was taken can always be brought back. And your soul has fought so hard. And so if you are from yesterday's reading, I feel like that reading is just so much more. We're going to keep it surface level. But if you have found yourself so far down from the things that I saw, you have both sides on your back. You have knowledge of both. And that's the kind of thing, is like in this balance of light and dark. For those who only ever follow just light and those who only ever follow just dark, can't understand the other. But you encompass both. You are whole. In fact, whereas others think that they're whole, you're whole. You see the whole picture, the whole scoop, the good and the bad. And as you take a step back, a bigger picture, I just hear that you're loved from above and below. You are loved by all. And so now that this underworld has finally released you, this bond, this cord on the Zeal chakra, we want you to be protective of it, right? We're We're going to focus and clear this and let nobody else's energy ever come and attach a cord there. And so now that you're back, they say, in the present 3D moment, you're loved above, you're loved below. And now everybody here is going to get to experience you in the way that Spirit loves and adores you so much, because you are the ultimate fighter. You are the peaceful warrior. You're here for change and peace. And it's funny because those will just think, why are they so calm? Why are they so peaceful? How can they? You've been through so much that people don't even understand how far down into the depths and dark. But you made friends with that. You found safety in that, and nothing can spook you. You are, what I hear is when you learn about that cord and those empowerment moments, psh, nice try. If they ever try stuff like that, they won't. They can't. There's already been that equal exchange. So if you have that fear that it's going to keep coming back, time will help with that healing. Again, that kind of goes to the healing of yesterday's story. Oh, sorry, monster. I know. I'm sorry. Mr. Monster is here. See, I got Beauty and Mr. Monster, and you do need both. You do. Right, monster? We need love. Everyone needs love. But not at the cost of our energy. And I think that's a lesson that you learned. And you're going to deal with the ultimate soul lesson, they say. Like, you're freeing yourself from the ultimate bonds. Do you know how many people are going to watch you do that and then follow suit? You're going to free so many souls. And you already have, they say, by just being so loving in those dark times when others didn't know what to do. They told me you held a candle for them. You kept that mothering, loving energy. All I keep saying over and over is, spirit guide wise, you're loved above and below. So bring those both in this moment. And if you feel that moment with that zeal chakra, there's some healing. There's some real cool healing to do with that. So I want to pull one of these High Priestess of Light cards, and then we'll wrap it up. But this woke me up. This was actually, I was sleeping, and then it like sent me straight up out of my bed, and it was like I was tapped in, and it was such a clear message. I saw it all. I saw you free yourself. I saw how instant it was. And the funny thing is it's already happened. It's just the realization of it. And then that's when that cord, that one thing that you just can't seem to cut from the underworld, that's when the release will happen. Oh my gosh. Look at this card, Soul Radiance. But do you know what is even cooler? It literally says Phoenix Rising. There is a Phoenix Rising moment. And you know how everyone wants like light workers and those kind of things? I feel like you're kind of going to be like the new light worker. Not be so, you're going to be the heavy hitter. I feel like when you bring the light and the dark, because you love them both, it's like wherever you walk, the things that people have been trying to like change for so long, you're gonna come in and just be like, whoo, done. Like, let's get this over with. Let's keep going forward. I need to get to over there. This mountain's in my way. Psh, mountain gone. Like, so we've got an adjustment period. It says looking back but moving forward. That's why in that reading, it talked about the sacral chakra as like a spider web. And I was like, well, you know, we cut cords. Why can't we just get rid of them? And they're like, you know, when we kind of cross with those people, they'll always be in our Akashic record book, right? Like we're always attached to them somehow. And we will clear all the energy of it, but you will always be connected in that way. So that's why it's saying looking back, and you're going to adjust and learn and clear and find what's for you and put it in a place where it's so far enough that it can affect you, but you can still go into that to get the information that it needs to help you move forward. There's wisdom in it. There's so much wisdom in it. We have sensuality in reverse. It says feminine wisdom, passion, and then what's the card behind it? River of blessings. Release constraints. So the sensuality in yesterday's reading, it was all about someone taking advantage of someone, and I did get it in more of a sexual manner, sacral chakra, things like that. So the sensuality in the reverse makes sense, right? Because that's just been abused and mispowered, like just too much. So this river of blessings, I feel like that's the river of the underworld. That's you getting that freedom to go the opposite way. They're telling me, actually, you know, you go in the one way, but you actually live another way. But it's like you are welcome for this cycle, because at the end of summer, we are going to go back into the dark and incorporate and grow. So there's blessings because you can navigate all worlds. You're just so healed that they want you to know. And even the things that people dub as scary, they have so much gratitude and praise for you because you loved them. So I'm seeing you out and about in the 3D, and you may have crossed paths with people who kept you trapped in toxic cycles. But it's like the way that you cared for, okay, I'm hearing majority that you cared for, they're just like, wow, they're such a loving person. Their heart has never changed. Then I'm hearing that the other ones who did the attaching and the trying to steal your free will, they could never, I feel like you wanted them to know your love. You know, if I love them enough, they could change. And what Spirit's saying is like, these people are just so numb and null and void that you have to let that go. Like you can't make them feel your love. These people have twisted and taken advantage of it in such a way that I feel like it's you holding on to that actually kept them above in the energy and allowed those to kind of steal and siphon from your energy. But in that realization, this soul did fall only because like this cycle I feel has happened for way too many years. They have dug in their rut. And there's nothing you can do about that. You just have to heal, free yourself, and release the constraints. I don't know, whatever happened in it, whatever got you to that situation, it's okay. You healed through it, or you're still healing through it, they say. But there is blessings coming. And the things that you think are so scary are actually quite empowering for you now. You're loved and adored by so many. How often does like the Lord of the Underworld come up and be like, hey, thank you so much for like being the most loving and awesome person. I value and adore you, and here's your freedom. Like, I don't know, you don't hear that story much. So you are this soul radiance and phoenix rising. It was a really cool moment when that it was just those words. They say read those words one more time and then we'll wrap it up. Wee. Why do you fight so hard for others? Thought about it and came up with, maybe I am dark, or I was very dark in the past. I don't know how I got there, but somehow I found myself isolated and alone in the darkness. I think I was there for a really long time. And then it says, if I can be forgiven, then I know that all others who want to do the work can be free too. And that's what your purpose. You are here to help guide and light a way for those in the dark. You know how to navigate the dark, the underworld. Not many people do, and not many people will, they say, because not everyone's welcome the way that you are, because you are love. And your love glows everywhere. And I think that's cool. So we'll leave it there. I hope you guys have a good day, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.